So I've continued working. Now what I want to do is think about the effect of the feathers on here. So what I'm going to do is draw on like a feather sort of has like sort of like a vein that runs through the middle of it, but it has two sides to it. And what I want to do is show, okay, well one side's the darker part. There's not a lot of room for blending. So if I do one line and then the one that's on the other side of it is darker, it sort of creates the effect of a light part and a dark part. But then I'm going to think about colors that I want to put in there. And I'm actually going to use a line that describes what a feather looks like. So if I come away from that vein in the middle with these lines, leaving just a little bit of space showing, then it creates the effect of like those little hair follicle looking things that feathers are made out of. And I could even have some of those lines to help that effect could leave the edge of the shape that I drew before. So that looks a little more feather-like when I use the lines that way. And then to get kind of a 3D look to it, I would say, okay, well I'm going to go back in with black and I'm going to add some lines here to this side, just overlapping some of that black right in there with the red ones. Blend a little bit of a shadow next to the vein in the middle there. And then I have something that looks a lot more like a feather. So now I want to think about doing that to the rest of those shapes. So let's say that this one is going to be green, so I'm repeating a color I used earlier. So, well, kind of getting ahead of myself. Do the little vein part. I'm going to make that darker. So then on the other side, I'm going to do the lighter part. So I go in and I use the color to create the little hair-like follicles on the feather. These are going to get tucked up under the red one. Now that green's pretty light, so it's a little hard to see that effect, so I could go in, and with the red I use the red and then the black, but maybe with the green I'm going to have to use the light green, the dark green, and then to really show the darker parts of the feathers, maybe I'm going to have to use the black on top of that. So sometimes it takes more than two colors, I had to use three. Alright, so I'm going to continue this effect all the way around, making it look more like a headdress with feathers attached to it. Alright, I look forward to seeing what your design comes out looking like and what you guys send me.